Sideline of ball. Lane Winner's doing it. They're gonna take. He's gonna bring down Birdie. Alone with a double kill. Dropping fast. Monopoint's there. He's still alive. Wait, seconds left. He's got one side. He's got a second. He's taking it up. They're overtime on three. They're all dead.
Skywrath Mage.
Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Well.
Color guy just
5
gave me this
seconds
look of
remaining.
complete defeat. I looked out. I looking over at his computer where the draft is
Reserve
happening, and I
time.
see out of the corner of my eye one line in Twitch chat saying no sound. And I look down at the soundboard and I see that we're
Radiant team
muted and
ban.
pointed out. Color guy just this look is.
Look at them go crazy now.
Dire
Just,
team
I
ban.
blew it, and now I just get to enjoy this and take it all in.
Radiant team
The
ban.
first time I've ever done that here, when I'm like, okay, I gotta manhandle everything. Just make sure I hit the buttons, do this. I flub the buttons. I get so excited about we're gonna bring the camera back and get it all debuted, and
Dire
I blow it with the
team
mics.
ban.
Anyway, so you didn't hear anything we said. I'll just
Now
have to. That's what you do, all right? I'm just getting a little bit of that God's flavor in my own like pioneering. Oh my goodness. Anyways, we're back. Hi everyone, how you doing? That's our voices. I guess we could just repeat what we already were talking about at the beginning of this one. They don't know anything from what we said. So
We're dropping knowledge bombs.
here we go.
5
Yeah,
seconds.
what we
Mostly
said
just
was-
rehashing what Bulba said.
Yeah, pretty much. But before that, you know, Team Tinker, they're
Reserve
already at the
time.
top of the Summit 2. They're sporting a 6-1 record. With this win, it puts them up to 7-1. Pretty much guarantees they're going to make it into the playoffs, so they can from then on take things a little easy. I know they're a little rambunctious as it is. They just finished playing in Dream League against Fnatic. Came up with a win there, but after their showing at Starladder where they fell short against Team Secret and also fell short to Alliance, they're looking to bounce back hard, knock out a couple of wins here, get some proper rest, and be able to make a strong showing at the next big event. Compass Gaming, who have
Dire
already
team
fallen all the way
pick.
down now to what looks like a 3-5 record, desperately need a win to be able to hold on to an opportunity to go into tiebreakers and then hopefully inch into a 3rd or 4th spot to make it into those playoffs.
And Compass Gaming's, I feel like, one of those teams, like, even when they're maybe knocked out or at the bottom and not going to get into the playoffs, you still got to look out for them for causing upsets. They're kind of becoming a Power Rangers-like team where they will get these upsets and big wins off top teams. They took games off Alliance during Star Ladder.
Radiant team pick.
They can cause upsets. They have some great potential. They are playing with a stand, and they have been all of today, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're having roster issues with their fifth player or if their fifth player is just unavailable, but
Not too sure. I mean, they got Dread, however, who's
it's still
notoriously known. I
yeah.
guess a pup star in his own right.
still a
but-
scary team to be versing when you're...
Yeah.
I mean, for Tinker, they've got that cushion. They're 6-1, so as far as they're concerned, they're not going to
10
be under the
seconds
stress of, like,
remaining.
we've got to win this game to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, and with the lineup that already Team Tinker
5
have thrown
seconds
together, I won't be
remaining.
surprised they try to end this one pretty damn quick. I mean, Necrophos now popping out is... I mean, we
Reserve
saw him
time.
really come into his own through Star Ladder into the hands of, like, Eternal Envy, who made a strong showing with them. Of course, EG has always been a lineup notoriously known to put him together with an Abaddon, which, mind you, is still in the pool, though they already have a couple of supports. Unless this Jakiro does indeed become more of a core position, they could always follow with something like that. It certainly would
10
help to remove
seconds
some of the stun
remaining.
lockdown they already have, and now the Faceless Void is
Dire
actually going to be
team
grabbed, but
pick.
on the opposite side, so Compass Gaming getting a hold of that. Now they put together one of the secondary best combos with the Witch Doctor Death Ward plus Chronosphere. Though you still have to be a little bit conscious as a Faceless Void. This puts him into a spot where he will need to, at some point, attempt to throw together a BKB, because Mystic Flare, not only a great ally to Faceless Void, a great enemy as well.
Yeah.
Radiant team
If you're not
pick.
getting the stun, you can, like, dodge it very quickly inside a Chronosphere, I guess, is the nice thing. But I think the BKB is more against the Ancient Seal if you get caught out and silenced up quickly. But Tinker going to pull up the Lycan, so taking a page out of the EG book in some ways. EG kind of the one team that really still prioritizes this hero, as we saw at Star Ladder, and showed that this is not a hero to be completely ignored. The hero got nerfed in 6.82, then everyone's like, okay, Lycan's out, just like
Yeah.
Tinker.
10 seconds
We'll
remaining.
never see him again, but Lycan's still a good hero. And on that note, I think Tinker's still a
5
viable
seconds
hero, but much
remaining.
more of a niche pick now. I think he's good against... I think he's one of the good Terrorblade counters in the game. But yeah, as far as
Reserve
Lycan's
time.
concerned, this hero is still like such
5
a
seconds
such a
remaining.
good carry, I think. He's less of a pushing hero, and he's become more of a carry. And in some ways, he's like a
Dire
team supporter
team
with the
ban.
Howl in the early game, giving everyone huge physical damage, but he's just a good DPS machine.
Yeah, yeah. EG, man, they really put it to town in those finals as well with Artesia on the back of that Lycan. So I'm curious as this is looking like what could
10
potentially also
seconds
be.
remaining.
I don't know if they really run a mid lane Lycan on Tinker, though. That's
5
something they could
seconds
change up and throw
remaining.
Sing towards something like in the off lane. They're a flexible team in their own right. I mean, with each of these players, they all have been notoriously known to run core roles on each of their own past
Radiant
teams, so they
team
can be
ban.
flexible in their own right. Plus, they are going against Compass Gaming, so maybe they feel a little more, loose about their competition. Who really knows? But Compass Gaming are putting together not only a very fashionable bluish hue kind of a lineup here, but some great initiation to add on top of this Faceless
10
Void already. They grabbed
seconds
the puck.
remaining.
He can be hard to grab a hold of in the mid lane, and he has a good setup there with the Dream
Radiant
Coil.
team pick.
A lot of AoE factor and team fight for them.
Darkseer for Tinker. I haven't got to see too much Darkseer, although Koikva used to play a beastly Darkseer, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's going to be the one handling it. I imagine he's on the Darkseer, and then Lycan Necro is the Sing and Pycat heroes. Lycan used to play quite a lot of the Lycan over the last few years, so I think he's the more comfortable Lycan player,
Yeah.
but if it's going mid, they maybe want Sing on it. I think it just may come
10
down to a bit of personal
seconds
preferences.
remaining.
As you said, Tinker not really afraid to mix up the lanes a bit with it between their core
5
players.
seconds remaining.
Yeah. And it's weird because I feel like Darkseer has become such a niche pick because it's more so when the opposing team picks up something like a precious, melee core who's going to be put in that safe lane, and having a Darkseer with that Ion Shell could kind of prevent him from getting the easy last hits. So he could be taking way too much extra damage. Darkseer's finding what he wants, and as long as he has a surge to fall back on, he can find those levels. I mean, a hero who does need a lot of levels to really be able to have a huge team impact, you got to make sure you get all those levels into Vacuum on top of already your Ion Shell, a couple of levels in Surge, and then you can build up on your wall, which typically is a late grab for Darkseer as it is. So it's interesting to see, but with that, in response, they get a hold of Clinks, a ranged hero who could be very elusive, and I think if he's put in a position where he's going to be bottom lane to contest this Darkseer, he'll get a lot out of the lane.
Yeah. And Compass may be doing something kind of interesting and
10
different here. The Void was
seconds
picked up by
remaining.
Alpha Ninja, and he may be going mid with this Void to do like a Void versus
5
Lycan matchup.
seconds remaining.
Void has crazy base damage and like good overall stats, so he actually
Yeah.
does pretty well in those kind of like right-click battles. So I think Void is actually better mid than the Puck against a Lycan. Or very similar. Puck can do pretty well with the Null Talisman,
Prepare
Tango
for
Pool,
battle.
but I think we maybe... Yeah, Void's got the Poor Man Shield, and that's
Yeah, he's
pretty
going
much...
mid.
yeah, he's got the mid build.
And with
I think it's a good way to adapt the lane to
yeah,
the Compass.
and Gorak with is their offlane player, and he already has the puck, so he's going to be playing that offlane position. Who can definitely do a lot if he's going to be dealing with that heavy liquid fire harassment. He has a lot of ways to kind of get away from any potential lockdown. Easily can avoid an ice path coming in. Shouldn't have too much trouble from getting into a safe position. And even if it means finding just some respectable CS, then so be
It's
it.
going to be a support Darkseer. EGM picks it up. So Sing going to be playing... this is going to be some dual lane in the offlane, I think.
Yes.
With Sing EGM.
The last time I saw something similar was with a Faceless Void. They did a Darkseer Faceless Void
I think
offlane duo.
I was watching you cast that
Yeah,
game.
and that worked out so well.
Yep.
And I think it is going to be something similar.
I really like the 4-position Darkseer, or like these dual lane. I think Darkseer and dual lanes in the offlane can be really powerful, because put Iron Shell on a hero who can like Void, who can
Yeah.
break the gap really easily, and it's pretty powerful.
I
Does
mean,
struggle a bit against tri-lanes, your traditional tri-lanes.
but you can also just kind of
me.
meander off to the side. If you get an Iron Shell on those pull camps, just ruins everything. And you're bringing in extra farm from that. I mean, he's just a hero who can dish constant harassment. And if you're with a good hero who can benefit a lot from a Surge, there's a lot of synergy there that you can make work. And we saw it with that Faceless Void, a hero who likes to get in the face and take real advantage of that Iron Shell. I don't know if it's going to be the Necro. Is that who you said might be joining him?
I think Jakiro going bottom, but
I
it
mean,
could
they're-
actually
they
well
are
be the
ranged,
Necro.
But I'm not too sure who would benefit more from being able to get into the fight, but the lockdown potential would definitely help
Yeah,
if it was a cheer. Or they could just go full try.
I think Lycan definitely going mid, and that's Pycat. Pycat, as I said,
Sing
plays a lot of
Jakiro.
Lycan, so either Sing or Quake. I think Necro maybe goes safe lane. I think Jakiro just offers a bit more with the Darkseer, and Necro also handles like as far as the safe farm, he can do a bit more with it. But Quake for maybe going mid. He's actually
Yeah,
picked
this
up
is
two
this is
Tango.
definitely a nice little
Never mind.
role swap. This
No-
might be
no
a
Lycan
full
mid.
aggro in the off lane. Skywrath's still flirting with that idea. Might end up going into duels instead, but we'll see where the lanes do reside as we do hop into
Yeah.
this one. The fourth game for the Summit 2 by G2A.com, the Europe division. We're in day number 13 in this matchup. It is going to be on the Radiant side, Compass Gaming. It's going to be Gorak playing your off-lane Puck. In your mid, it's going to be Afo Ninja. He's going to be playing the mid lane
30
Faceless
seconds to
Void.
battle.
Along the bottom, we are going to have Arts, who's playing that safe lane farming Clinks. Nearby, we're going to have a support Ogre played by Dread, and that, of course, will leave Goddamn, or Goddamn, who's playing your Witch Doctor.
On the Dire side, we have Team Tinker. It is going to be Bulba on the Skywrath Mage, currently doing some warding up in the offlane. Sing Sing going to be on the farming Jakiro. EGM going to be playing a support Darkseer of some kind, as looking to contest this bottom rune. In the mid lane, it will be a
The
Necrophos
battle
played by
begins.
Quakebuff, and safe lane farming will be Pycat on the Lycan. So
What
they send
surge is this?
they send Pycat top on the Lycan instead of mid, and I think that's partly because they realized the Void was going mid. I don't know for sure, but I think they'd rather Lycan go up against the Puck than Void.
Making moves on EGM, who had clearly leveled Ion Shell first, so he doesn't have Surge. He might get right-click
He's
down
going for the
here,
deny,
and
yeah.
he already knows he's going to have to go for the deny here, and Roche might go for the last hit. Nope.
Well played, Dread.
Yeah, Dread saves out that Fire Blast, gets the last hit with it, and immediately you're going to see your first blood into the hands of Compass Gaming. Unfortunately for EGM, just getting too aggressive, and once Witch Doctor showed up, and without Surge, there was nowhere he can go.
Yeah, so it's not just a dual lane, it's going to be a full offensive tri lane, as Bulba's going to stick down bottom as well. It is a tri lane, but EGM can venture off and do some jungling if he wants to, so they can kind of maximize their efficiency with XP, and it looks like EGM is kind of already leaving this lane to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, they had put down the wards, hoping to get a little bit of extra side vision there, but they were quickly taken down with this sentry here on the side of Compass Gaming, so now they lack a lot of that proper vision on the side, and I guess they're just banking on the fact that these two flying fiends will be able to get it done, and EGM can always step off and maybe even work in the jungle if necessary. Right off the bat at level 1, one of the benefits for your Darkseer, but he's going to need a lot to get to a point where he has that farm and XP. Meanwhile, top lane, Lycan taking a toe-to-toe matchup here with your Puck. Not an everyday matchup you typically see, but he's got on par CS for now. And I don't
Lycan
think
will
any
do
kills are going to be
fine,
coming out,
yeah.
though.
I think Lycan may even slightly win the CS battle. He's got so much regen, Stout Shield and Quelling Blade already. Puck can't really harass him out of this lane. And Puck doesn't have the Null Talisman.
Now, what about this mid matchup between the Necrophos and Faceless Void? Now, he's leveled up the early 1 level like we expect to see that in the Heartstopper aura, and from there going Death Pulse. Do you think this is something where he considers going with Sadist just to benefit more from the last hits, or does he kind of just keep building up on the heal from here, and Afro Ninja is just not going to be threatened too much as well? He's already got the Poor Man's Shield. He can take a few shots. He's got plenty of regen still in his pocket ready to work with.
I think it's a fairly even matchup, considering the Void did go for the Poor Man's Shield first, and then he also ferried out some early Tangos, but slightly Necrophos favored. The value point in Heartstopper aura is just ridiculous.
Look at Dread creeping in. Convenient Invis Rune. He's got boots, so
some
that
back.
with the Ignite, he can get a lot of right clicks and keep walking. This is a dead Necrophos in the mid lane. Just
That's
easy and quick work, and without that proper vision on the bottom, they had no idea what the rune was. And unfortunately, it will be Dread grabbing up that Invis and going right to work. Those boots, man, he's a big boy, but he can run pretty quick with them.
That's where that first blood really helps. That gave him the extra bit of money, helped him get those boots up, and I don't think he had boots starting item. I think he had just regen, tangos, and clarities and stuff.
Could have also
maybe
gone
going for
like
another kill. They've got a time walk now.
Oh man, they're moving on forward. Fire Blast leads it off. Are they going to commit for that time walk? They're not yet.
Dread went a
Got
bit
him was
early.
just
I
there, and now they're kind of second guessing how Quake was committing. He almost was
Yeah.
flirting with the idea of staying around, but they're not going to get it. EGM in the meantime is still farming in that jungle. Brought down very low, pulls out that double stack for now, but he's at just level 3. He's going to be forced to heal on up to continuation of that farm. Bottom lane where he did previously leave Sing Sing here eating a lot of damage. The right click coming out from Bone Clinks as he's not going to get caught out too much, but he can still hit pretty hard.
Dyer's top tower
As his
is
Clinks with
under
just Searing
attack.
Arrow, it's enough to keep Sing all the way back and continue to use that regen.
Yeah. Both teams have all their cores getting decent CS, so no one's really being shut down right now. The support's on KPG a little bit ahead with the early kills thanks to Dread, but all in all, Tinker can easily keep up. They've got Darkseer in the jungle, and he's much more efficient. Well, I mean, the most efficient farmer of the 4 supports, so I don't think either team... I think both teams will be pretty happy with their lineups kind of panning out in the early game, and it's going to come down to what happens over the next 5-10 minutes as far as who starts to pull away.
When the level 6s start coming online, things are going to get pretty fun. I mean, Faceless Void going to be one of the first to grab his here in this mid lane. I'm curious how long they're going to wait before they try to make it work. They already have the benefit from that Death Ward combo at the mid game to make it work for now, and it's going to come down to Team Tinker to not get caught out too much with positioning. But Dread is constantly on the assault, playing this very similar to Secret's No Tail when he likes to play this Big Daddy Ogre.
He's looking for EGM, who's
Very low. Oh my goodness, there he is. Can he catch the long ball ignite? Oh, just inconvenient fog as he turns to the left, but that is opportunity for what looks like got him on the bottom lane to kind of move on in, and they take down Sing Sing on that Jakiro. Just maybe too much harassment coming out from the Clinks made for an easy setup for that support to kind of come on in, and that's once again no vision on this left-hand side of the lane that they can't see anyone coming.
Yeah. Unlucky for the Ogre not finding a kill there. But yeah, the kill on Sing, much bigger kill to be getting at this bottom lane. Sing is the one core hero not doing well, I should say, as he's only got the 6 CS. It's the Darkseer who's up there in the top farmers right now. But
So hard to gank a Lycan when he has those wolves to scout you out there, Dread. Now Dread's forced to try to pull out the TP. Can he make it away? He can, and that's that 7 armor
Lycan
really
was like
helping out.
mid-swing, about to swipe Dread's head off, and the TP just went in time.
That one GG branch might have been just enough for him to be able to make that swift escape, thankfully, as Dread was scouted out. So hard to gank a Lycan when he really can use those wolves to such effectiveness to kind of add a little bit of extra vision to the lane as people are growing missing on the map. And EGM parted from his own jungle, now working on the enemy territory here, well and behind where Afro Ninja is, as Dread does make his return to the lane.
I guess he feels he's looking for some stacks. I think he maybe thinks there's stacks there waiting for like the KPG team. But
Not going to be the case.
Puck wants to get more aggressive. He went for this double null tally build, so this
Ooh,
is something
they
you
scout
often
each other.
see, and-
EGM sees Dread, Dread sees EGM. Kind
Okay.
of flirting, but oh no. Surge as he does try to time out the cast. Wow, that's a long ball ignite that catches up with him. It's going to start slowing him down. The pings are coming in, and he's already heading right for the Roche pit. Is he going to try to juke back with a Surge?
Yeah, this is
Nobody
normally
doesn't pull it out yet.
I
What is he doing? Surge?
don't
Run?
know.
Something. Oh, he's like, I'm just dead. There's nothing I can do. And Witch Doctor, I mean, didn't even want to
Yeah.
try for an uphill, downhill kind of Surge juke.
Yeah, normally that's what you see with the Roshan pit, because the way the fog works, you can just go right to the edge of the fog and then just like run out when they go
yeah.
in. And you completely kind of like juke them.
I mean, I think it's worth the effort. I get he's trying to go for the deny, of course, on Roche. That would be
Yeah.
the best case scenario, but it was pretty early at that point.
I think he could have maybe lived there with the second surge. He could have went as soon as he goes in the Roshan fog pit, he gets time to get the next surge up.
Yeah. During that time, though, at the same exact moment, the Skywrath Mage was caught off. It was Bulba in the top lane who had fallen. And
Really
it was
good
nice
stuff
little
with
catch up.
Compass.
Yeah, my goodness. They do good work right there, Gorik, with the first coil to get that Skywrath takedown. Puts them ahead now 5-0 as pressure begins to build up here on the bottom lane. You see Arts pushing well past the tower. They want to get hold of Sing Sing. Stun is there, but so is Bulba. Throws out a nice silence here on Gotham, who's going to be forced to double back, but that long shot from the searing arrows, enough to take down that dragon, and Sing Sing falls once more, puts him at a 0-2-0 marking on his Jakiro, and still Compass Gaming pull ahead 6-0. Shaky start here for Team Tinker.
Yeah, this Clinks is going to do work at this rate. He's got no really good counters on the Tinker side. They haven't got great insta-disable to work around, and Arts is just having a fantastic time. Now the Chronosphere comes up mid lane. Quakefa may be able to survive this one. It's going to be close, and with the bottle charges, I think he may survive this.
Oh, they're committed. Dread's here now, pulls out his wand. Fire Blast is going to help it out. Bulba, though, going to get a little bit of redemption here if possible. Silences him in his place, but it's not like he's level 6 yet. But here comes Sing Sing. Nice ice path, catches on both. Plus the walls there. They do end up losing Bulba, but they take down that Void and that Ogre in exchange. But look who's coming to clean on up. It's Pycat making his first debut into the fray outside of that top lane. Cleans up another precious support. And now Team Tinker come out on top for the first time this game, taking that fight 3-2, and with that, Pycat grabs his Midas and puts it right to work.
Yeah, I think Comp is just going to be happy. Once they went for that dive deeper onto the Necrophos into the tower, they were in such a bad spot. They should have just given up the chase there. They were lucky to get the Necrophos kill, and well, they'll find a second one, it looks like.
Yeah, Coil catches here on Quakefa very nicely, and they just kind of right-click him down, and there's nothing he can do. He just kind of stands there and tries to take it like a man, but ultimately he will fall, and that's another core hero on the deck for Team Tinker.
Okay, they've done a great job killing and shutting down this Necrophos. He's sitting on no items, really. He's got 900 gold, maybe just wants to pick up some treads for the HP.
Bulba trying to go for the rune area at the top now. Gets caught out, 3 versus 1. Team Tinker maybe feeling a bit exhausted after the long LAN run and recent performance in Dream League.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Dota real quick, and maybe the fatigue is there. Or Compass Gaming, pretty solid game plan. The last pickup of the Clinks has been working pretty nicely for him in this bottom lane, and though Team Tinker tried to switch it up with a very interesting 4-position Darkseer, putting Sing Sing on Jakiro in the bottom, they're not getting a lot out of this mid lane as well as bottom lane. The best thing they have going for him is Lycan, of course. Pycat is bringing in a lot of farm for himself with the early Midas, so he's going very greedy, very quick. But we're going to have to see as we approach the mid game when these heroes start building up into their level 6s, into their early items. I mean, EGM still has yet to even get 1 point into Vacuum, so he can't really contribute a whole lot when the big team fights start breaking out. But look at this. It's going to be Dread sneaking in from behind. EGM is there as he moves in with his own Ion Shell, but Quakefa now locked into a corner. FO Ninja pulls out his Chronosphere, finishes off what they started, and they also get a return kill, taking out the puck, leaping across the way into a TP. Faceless Void should be able to make his way out, so it could end up being a 1-for-1 trade, but they do see Dread here walking his way on out, but the shapeshift comes, and here comes the big bad wolf. He wants Ogre Blood. And Dread can't get away from this. It might be a continuation of right clicks, plus that Ion Shell on the wolf certainly doesn't help. And he is slowly fading away into an Ogre death. Oh, gets taken down there on the back end side, so it will be Pycat who picks up that one. And he returns back to top lane. Took a lot of work, a lot of sweat, but they finally take down that little Ogre support and come out on top, making it a 2-for-1 trade.
Alright, well, they still force so many TPs towards mid, and speaking of mid lane, Sing Sing now going to get caught out. He's got the Maledict on him, he's got no way out. So I feel like even though KPG, those last few trades towards mid haven't been as favorable as the early untraded kills, but they're creating so much space for Arts. Arts gets a T1 tower bottom. He's almost completed his Orchid, so I feel like even trading fairly evenly, considering they're completely destroying Quakefa, he's died 4 times without getting a single kill, is actually okay for them.
It's rough. I mean, Necrophos still can offer a lot of, even if he doesn't get to that early tanking kind of ability you'd like to see, that Reaper Scythe can be devastating with that new plus 30 seconds, like, stagnant ad. It could take a hero out of the fight for a long time, especially early on in the game, but I imagine he's itching to kind of put used to it sooner than later. While Pycat does continue to farm on here, Sing Sing is also kind of struggling to get himself back into this. For a core Jakiro only having Tranquils, it kind of goes to show that he's struggling quite a bit. He's trying to find something here, but he's face-to-face with a tri-lane that's moving on in here. He does have to be cautious of his positioning because Gorak does have a coil ready to go.
I think KPG will be a bit more reluctant to go diving after they saw the last couple fights towards mid lane, and we'll see them just kind of maybe try chip away a bit of the tower. TT do not have good initiation. They don't have good lockdown or initiation, so if TT come top, KPG can just disengage retreat. Unless they've kind of overextended for kills, there's a good chance they can easily get out of there.
Gorek's getting hit up by, what the hell's happening? Why am I losing life? Ion Shell and Invisible Wolf is kind of sniffing him out right there, and he kind of steps back after already taking near half life from that one. And all the meanwhile, man, this Clinks is just having a heyday in this bottom lane. Just really no one near, no one to contest, and he's getting real quick to his Orchid.
Dire's
Now he's just
bottom
going to start
tower is under attack.
bringing in some damage on this tier 2 tower. Pulling out Strafe and the Searing Arrows. Already takes it down to half life on his own.
I guess at this point he's thinking, why not? Let's just chew through a
Tinker
bit of
have
mana,
to
and I've got all
do
this
something
space.
about it.
Yeah,
And that's pulling people away from this top lane where the rest of KPG could consider making a push.
yeah. Bulba has hit level 6, so there is potential for killing the Clinks if he can get like some kind of hero to help with some lockdown, like, well, which is basically only the Jakiro, but
They have a ward already there.
it really hurts that Sing got crushed so hard because they need that Yule Scepter for the initiation. Like, you can
Dire's
initiate on
bottom
Clinks with a
tower is
Yule's
under attack.
path
Yeah.
into Mystic Flare, and Clinks is an easy kill, but Sing got crushed so hard in this off lane that the Tinker are really in this tough spot where they can't fight because they've got no reliable lockdown. The level 4 Ice Path is nice, but you don't even have any kind of guarantee that it's going to land.
No, certainly not. So for now, he's farming up the side camps. Oh, got him. He's going to see him. Considering going in from behind, instead pulls the creeps away. I guess that will help with the push quite a bit as he throws out the cast. Ice Path not going to be quite there, but Singh still by his lonesome up in this top lane as Quakefa looks like he might migrate up there momentarily as he just makes moves through the jungle. Clinks is just going to continue to pressure bottom, so it's going to force Team Tinker to either commit towards that top lane
Dire's top
defense or
tower
maybe go
is
for a
under
pick off here on
attack.
Clinks in the bottom.
That's the problem. If they defend top, Clinks 100% gets the bottom tier 2 towers,
Dire's
so
top tower
I think
has
Tinker just
fallen.
let top go, deciding that it's much more important to deal with this Clinks at bottom lane. Sure, they're maybe not going to kill him, they're not going to stop his Orchid, but he does get spotted here. Quakefa's got a Reaper's Scythe here. They'd love to find this kill.
He can even lead off with it
I was
just to
about to
lock
say,
him in place. if
Reaper's
possible.
Scythe just to set up the Mystic Flare may be needed.
Oh, he's
He's
going to
going
stop
for
it.
the TP.
He's going to stop it.
There we go.
Ah, the big Reaper Scythe Slam prevents him from going away, and it just takes a couple of nukes from Bulba, and they do get it. The patience does prove to pay off for them. So after taking down that Clinks, they can just kind of move
Radiant's
themselves
bottom
towards this
tower
tier 1
is
tower
under
with
attack.
Pycat already here. It's going to fall pretty damn quick. KPG, they might look for their own trade on this mid tier 1 tower.
That was just kind of unlucky for Clinks. He's like, I'll just TP in this little tree spot where you're almost always in fog, but
Dire's middle tower
of all the
is
runes
under
Quakefa to
attack.
have, he'd been tracking his, so...
Tier 1 bottom
Radiant's
falls. We'll see if Team
bottom
Tinker
tower
want to go
has
for a
fallen.
defense. A nice path lands again, of course, catching Dread, but they should be able to take it down. Ooh, very last minute
Dire's
glyph right there.
structures are
A glyph or ticket,
fortified.
they say, is 13 life left. Allows for Faceless Void to
Dire's
move in and
middle
clean it on
tower
up. But look
has
at this,
fallen.
near the bottom, Puck is kind of caught out Sing Sing here. He's going to make a commitment. Still has Coil to work with, but he gets silenced up from Bulba. Moving in from the south there. Now Bulba in a bit of trouble as Afro Ninja sees him. Jumps forward. Ice Path does save, but that last lingering right click comes out. Wall drops. So is Chrono. A duel of ultimates right now, but it catches two more importantly. And they do manage to take down the Witch Doctor, who was caught inside of that Chronosphere. Now looking to clean on up is Pycat on the chase. Can he get the fairy? Oh, he can. Takes him down. Now Dread runs face to face with the Wolfman. And he steps back as it looks like they're going to continue to pursue. Clinks is also in on the action. After he cleans up a couple, it ends up what looks like being a 2 for 2. Now make it a 3 for 2 as Afro Ninja cleans up that dragon on the back lines, continuing up and ahead as Clinks still scouting, but nowhere to really commit.
Yeah, Tinker saw the Clinks run past the Sentry Observer in mid, so they have a good idea that he's scouting them out, maybe going to go into their jungle and probably death pack one of these big creeps. And Tinker shouldn't lose too many more. That was kind of another one of these even trade scenarios, but at least they're addressing the Clinks, finding kills on, or finding the singular kill on him, slowed down his Orchid by a little bit, didn't just let him free push this bottom tier 2 tower. So all in all, I think Tinker, even though it's still more even trades, they've done well to just address the Clinks problem.
Goifa had gone for a minus as well, but engagement near the secret shop just neighboring that mid lane is a quick pick off there on Skywrath as they just quickly surprise him from behind, and that's just a nice easy pick off for them just to add already to their big significant lead, 16-8. As far as team net worth, it's still KPG's game. Given that they brought down a lot more towers, obviously puts them just between that 3 and 4K mark. Now pressing on in, Gorek advancing himself even past his own team to see if they can get anyone down here as they will not be able to.
They want Quakefa. They have an okay idea of where he is thanks to an Observer Ward, but this is too risky.
They pull back and said they ping out where Pycat is, who's already moved into the side shop, and they're going to start scouting him out. Does not have a TP available. Is going to be forced to pull out the Shapeshift instead. Sees Dread, maybe thinks he can make a go, but now Clink shows up. Right clicks are coming in huge, and after already dishing everything, Dread, oh, nice jump in. Afro Ninja gets him on the backhand side. before he can make his escape. So Pycat, thinking he can have an opportunity to really take down Ogre first and foremost, does not expect Klink's coming in as well as Faceless Void.
That was a tough one for Pycat. He was completely surrounded. The only way he could live that, which he didn't know, is if he just popped his ultimate and ran towards the river, or like ran past the tier 1 top tower.
Yeah.
There were heroes coming from through his jungle from behind. You don't have that kind of map set. Like no one has that kind of, unless you're map hacking like back in the Dota 1 days. You're not
Radiant's
gonna
middle tower
you're not
is
gonna
under
know
attack.
exactly how to get out of that
In
spot.
that case, we'll have to pause and make sure they take a
Yeah.
screenshot to prove that they're not
Dire's
hacking.
top tower
I
is
remember
under
that way
attack.
back in the day. That's the only way you could find out people were
It was-
hacking. Pause,
Radiant's
pause,
bottom tower
screenshot
is
please.
under attack.
Klink's, with this Orchid, is just finding kills now. Scareth made it to the bottom lane, just gets sniped, and Klink's will be fine. It's another Invis Necrophos, so we've seen this one before.
Try to TP again, my friend, but they're already making an engagement. It looks like now they get quickly a hold of. Man, these kills are coming in left, right, and center as Jakiro, who's still lingering on the bottom. That might have been their initial target, and they came across Bulba initially. Now they grab that Jakiro.
Well, Arts is in trouble here, bottom lane. He's got no death pact HP.
Wall and easy Reaper Sight follow-up. In fact, it just gets taken down so quick before the ult could even kick in, and it's going to be EGM who benefits from that one. So they do manage to pull back after losing 2. They take down that prized and precious Klinks for the side of Team Tinker. And every little bit counts. I mean, when you're this far behind, there's always the rubber band that can definitely pull it back for them. Pycat looking to go to work. They'd only taken 1 tier 1 tower, so there's plenty of towers still to grab and bring them that bit of extra money.
Did Quick for Reaper a creep or something? Because how did he not get the kill there?
Radiant's top
misclicked it.
tower is under attack.
I don't know.
We'll have to see. I always figured that just like the Reaper side ended up taking so long as it is that there might be just a bit of a hiccup delay. I mean,
Radiant's
If,
top
if the hero
tower is
dies
under
like
attack.
during the wait time, Necro still gets credited the kill.
he didn't have the extra death timer, obviously. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he did
Radiant's
end up
top
doing it on a
tower
creep.
has
Must have
fallen.
accidentally
Pretty
misclicked the
congested.
creep. Someone on the chat probably saw. They're probably flaming us.
They'll let us know.
Chronosphere
I
mid
mean,
lane,
th-
Aphantasia.
letting us know in a nice manner, that's a different question, guys. It's more of, you missed it, you retard.
That's. I mean, as far as Twitch chat goes, that's nice.
As long as I get the information, I don't care how it's
Yeah.
coded.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
If it's coded with all that crap
Joke's
on
on
top.
you, assholes in Twitch chat. We just wanted the information, so the fact you're flaming us for it, we don't care.
Anyways, Apho Ninja gets silenced up, can't quite pursue. He obviously does not have Chrono up and available, using it previously for that pickoff. And Sing Sing goes down for another time. He is 1-6 on this Jakiro, still struggling to throw together that Yules, but meanwhile they're going to catch up with Quakefoot here, eating big damage from that Clank, but jumping on through is going to be Apho Ninja. Silence is going to be there on EGM, who might be locked in with this coil. Nice vacuum catches 4, but without a team, without a wall, it's not going to do a whole lot. And oh man, Sing might fall again. He will.
Happening needs to be a bit
Dire's
careful
middle
this damage
tower is
over
under
time. Tick tick. Oh, 2 HP.
Oh, goodness
Lives.
My RNG backtrack, please help me. He makes it to the high ground, TP's out, and we'll make it out and back to base 3 for none. KPG continue.
Man.
Dire's
I mean, I understand
structures
Team
are
Tinker are
fortified.
well ahead of this bracket, sporting a nice
Dire's
6-1
middle
record, and they
tower
can
is
afford a
under
couple of
attack.
losses, but they are pretty far behind in this one. Not even
Yeah.
the cast slows down Pycat. He stops, puts out a death ward, and with Klink showing up, they'll be able to take out Pycat here. They're going to look to go on the hunt without Shapeshift. He's not going to be running quick. Are they going to be able to catch up with him, though? Wolves are coming in from behind, nipping at the back heels of Gotham. And Gorek also on the scene. Klinks turns his attention towards instead this EGM, and now he gets silenced up. They eventually do catch up with Pycat, finish him off. Now Reaper Scythe, however, he does catch that one. Takes down Klinks. That's 77 seconds of him being dead without the buyback, of course. Multicast going to be there before the Chrono ends up being dropped. He takes down one, catches also EGM, right-clicks him home. Silence is going to be there. Ice Path comes out from behind. Sing Sing back from the grave, looking to get something in on this fight. Sentry going to be dropped here for Team Tinker to try to scout out where the heck they are. And they quickly leap away from this wall. Dreadnought going to be caught out with the Ice Path very nicely. Sing already looking to move on to the next target, but is able to blink away.
He was hoping for that RNG. Boba may still die. Earn plus the ignite. 20. He's dead. The last Earn tick. Compass Gaming are playing some good Dota right now. Like, they got off to that great early game start, and they're really making fantastic use of the Void. Void has been the key element, and once he gets this BKB, there's no answer to him. This Void's actually having like some problems. Like, he's not dying, but he can't be as aggressive as he'd like because of Ancient Seal, because of Ice Paths.
Yeah.
Come BKB, he's just gonna
Yeah.
walk all over Tinker's lineup, perhaps.
Which he's sort of got the first component of. The Ogre Club's there. He's about to have the Mithril Hammer, but ideally, best case scenario, you can wait till you get a hold of that farm. And yeah, things become more easy breezy than ever before, as Pycat is now looking to bounce back after getting caught off in that top lane. He's got his level 1 Necro book. Not the best timing for getting a hold of this Necro that you would like to see out of your Lycan, though. He got a lot of farm early on. I don't see that there's going to be an opportunity for them to get a Roche in the near future. Now, they're already bringing forward a couple of wards to kind of de-ward the side shop area here, as Bulba is going to try to put down some vision towards that Roche pit area, I'd imagine, but already on the scene is going to be Compass Gaming. Leading up the front, their 2 supports. And heading towards this mid lane where EGM is still lingering. They're creeping in
I haven't
from
seen
behind.
EGM yet, but they...
What the heck?
Puck
They're
missed
so
him.
far
The night
behind. They
vision.
don't seem that he's actually
Radiant's
still in
middle
lane.
tower
And
is under
there's that
attack.
ward. They're going to scout out and take it down, but meanwhile they're making a go here. Sing Sing does have his Yule, self pulls it out, but the Maldek's already there. And he ends up going down. Now Gorek next. Silence, but now this Yule's going to remove it. Step back Fire Blast. It's a multi that catches EGM, and they are able to take him down. That's also a gem on the deck.
Puck
Radiant's
could have gone
middle
for the
tower
blink.
is under
He,
attack.
after using himself in a phase shift, he could have just blinked out, but he went greedy, went for the silence into coil, but the damage output from Lycan was more than enough to kill him before phase shift cooled down.
Looks like Cass
a
trying
bit
to
of a
slow them
mistake from
down,
Puck.
as this is going to be a tier 1 to fall. Though they have the glyph, they should use it. It will be refreshed.
Radiant
There it is. They pop it
structures
out right now,
are
trying desperately to try to slow down all these summons. The extra bit of wolves
Dire's
coming in right
bottom
now, and the
tower
Necro
is
book
under
laying it in.
attack.
It will ultimately fall right there. They couldn't
Dire's
get the
bottom
deny in
tower
time.
has
Afro
fallen.
Ninja makes his appearance. Still working towards that BKB, needs about 1k more, but currently sporting a DD. He wouldn't have minded an engagement if it was going to come out.
Okay, so interesting build from Quake for this game, I gotta say. This Midas Blink makes him so squishy. If he ever gets caught in a Chronosphere, he's just instantly dead. The Ice Path is not going to help once Void has this BKB and 500 gold, and I don't know. I like what Kuro does when he goes for the Bloodstone, because you get so much benefit out of all the HP. As far as survivability goes, he's even going to go for a Dagon here. This is like some very YOLO-ish build coming out from the Necro.
Yeah. Itemization definitely in question, but once it all does come together, they could pull something out down the road here, but they definitely need to start turning the fight and taking advantage
I
of that
think his
rubber band.
reasoning is that in some ways Reaper's Scythe, like with a Blink Dagger, it somewhat functions as like a Blink Hex, because like if you find the Void, you can Blink Scythe him and then deal damage during the Scythe, like the
That's
Dagon.
very nice. They are able to take him apart.
Alright.
That Reaper Scythe doing work right there. Takes Clinks out of the game again for an additional plus 30 seconds. That's up to 80 seconds now. He's not going to be a part of the game. But on the other side of things, they get Sing Sing here. Is Death Ward going to be enough? The Yules at the end might have saved his life here, but he can't get away from the coil. Just a little bop right there for Gorek to get that kill. Lycan, though, takes down Witch Doctor on the other side in exchange.
I think what we saw at top with the Clinks with the Reaper, like he Reapered him at full HP. That's in some ways the Blink Reaper is like a counter to BKBs, because you can deal, like you have enough damage with Dagon, like during the Reaper, to actually get them low enough so that they die before they can pop BKB.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, I guess, the justification
burst.
for his build.
Works so nicely, and they
Yeah.
might as well take advantage while they can when the BKBs are not up quite yet. But when they do come up, we'll have to see how effective Quake can
Yeah,
can
that's
be with it.
where this Blink is going to have to do some work for Quake, though.
Yeah. You have to also consider, it looks like Dread is throwing together an Agnum Scepter on his Ogre. He's already got the point booster near 2k. He is very close to it.
That's the other problem with that. The Blink Reaper Scythe, then you put yourself in harm's way in a bad way.
Two
If
sets of multis, and even Necro will fall at this point.
Yeah, he's got no survivability items in terms of HP and stats go.
Yeah.
So
And I don't
maybe
see a
maybe you kill a
BKB
core hero, but you die in return.
I don't see a BKB anytime soon. I don't see a pipe being built up whatsoever, so that kind of magic damage coming out will do full work. And Gorek here at the bottom lane near 2k himself here on this puck. Is he going to start going for the early makings of a sheepstick at this point after already obtaining his blink and his Yules? Kind of necessities here. We'll see if he favors CC and lockdown instead of his maybe own burst damage of a Dagon. Who knows?
Yeah, I think the Hex against Lycan, who's could well be going for a BKB, so you can get the Blink Hex initiation off, is probably your best bet. He's bought something. What's he bought? He's bought the Orthodox, so you're right. It will be the crowd control of the site.
I like it. I mean, it's still going to be quite a while.
Roach, by the way.
Here we go. Creeping on through.
Illusion just expired in the Roshan pit, so this timing is perfect for Pycat. Could still be scattered out.
Well, they
Clinks is
smoke
headed
up and they're
towards
heading
it.
right there. They are beelining for this Roche pit. As they see a lot of people
God.
top,
Radiant's top
Poor
tower
but
Pycat.
is
not a
under
Lycan.
attack.
Oh,
They saw the Howl.
boy.
They saw the Howl in other lanes, I think.
Yeah. Nice grab, nice game sense. They figure out what the hell's actually happening. They move in and they're like, yeah, thank you very much for starting our Roche. We'll kind of take it from here, Pycat. Thank you. Age is going to be grabbed right there. Afro Ninja will be the one to take it. And now they see Sing Sing come in, and he's not even with his team. This is just an unnecessary handover of a kill from your Jakiro, and now, with that kind of momentum, KPG with the ultimates all ready to go, they might just stroll themselves down this mid lane.
I always have to wonder there if KPG like had a good idea Lycan was there, or if they were just trying to smoke roast themselves. Either way, it works out well.
Dire's middle tower
It is
is under
curious, but
attack.
because they just got the BKB on Void, so they could have taken
Dire's
Roshan themselves
structures
with
are
almost no
fortified.
fear. And well, now they find themselves in a position with 2 heroes dead, decent creep wave in mid lane, and could even go for a high ground breach. They've still got the BKB Chronosphere.
Let's see if that's
Dire's
going to be
middle
it.
tower
If
has fallen.
they will press on forward without having to worry of anything of the Skywrath Mage and Mystic Flare, given they pull out the BKB appropriately. And Darkseer
Dire's
might have to
middle
pull out a
tower
pretty
is under
serious
attack.
vacuum wall here to try to slow the roll of Compass Gaming.
Without a
lingering
blink, that's
behind.
hard too.
Quakefa's also behind. They're trying for some sort of flank play to get someone on the way out and at least burst them down. Ideal target being this Clinks. There's a Yules. Followed up Macro Pyre. BKB going to be popped. Does catch the 2 of them while Clinks opens up from the outside. Coming in from behind, though, is going to be Koikfa. He does manage to sneak down a couple of kills here. Oh, he
Koikfa
doesn't get
gets
anything.
nothing.
No, he
No,
runs
he
out. No, he
didn't
gets
do
nothing.
enough
I'm looking at the
damage.
other side. Yeah, he's getting caught out on his own, and this is going to be coiled and taken apart.
I think this is after that. Well, maybe not over, but this is Rax's.
Pycat's like, please, I'll just get at least Afro Ninja, but that's just an Aegis. Now he has to run away. His Necro Book going to be quickly farmed up, and his Wolf form is about to expire as he heads to bottom lane. 4 down, and
walking around with Afro Ninja's Aquila. Like, it's like
Dire's
you may have got the
middle
Aegis, but I got
barracks
your
are
Ring of
under
Aqualide. I don't think Afro Ninja minds too much.
nope, certainly not. As his team is
Dire's
clearing out
middle
this
barracks
mid set of
is
racks. Looks like Compass
swing ball.
Gaming going to be pretty happy with being able to take in a notch extra into their win column. With Team Tinker kind of giving this one up, I'd have to say. Very interesting lane setup from their side, and a lot of these heroes
Dire's
not really getting to that
bottom
point
tower
and
has
online quick enough. Sing Sing's Jakiro definitely struggled quite a bit in the offlane. Now they do get a nice ice wall, ice path wall, and Macropyre combo. It's going to be a self Yules here and a quick blink out. Puck's trying to get away from this one, but gets caught. Now Clinks might be pressured here with no more mana to work with. He's going to be right-clicked back home, and he will fall. The one casualty, it looks like for now, on the side of Compass Gaming in a last hurrah defense after they already lose another Tier 3 and a Rax, the other one being very low. Team Tinker, man, I don't know if they're going to be able to come back from this one. It's going to take a huge team fight swing and a push from their own side.
Yeah, luckily, just the range tracks we saw earlier today.
Radiant's bottom
The
tower
Moscow
is under
5
attack.
game, where Moscow 5 got like a Rax and a half ahead, but just couldn't win the game. Unfortunately, though, Compass, they've got a much better late game lineup. The Void Chronosphere guarantees a kill or two every single time it's used. You've got an Ogre with an Ag Scepter for huge damage output. Clinks has a BKB, which he didn't even have in that fight, as well as a Crystallis. So 2 big items that he didn't have that fight, suddenly being picked up.
Over
And
mid lane.
Quakefa's itemization has just been very questionable this game. Like, this guy is normally the
Boots
most
of travel.
consistent player on this team, but this is
Lots
this,
of mobility and the Midas, but now he's going to, yeah, what are you going to do out here?
I don't even think he needed the Chronosphere.
Just took a couple of right clicks. And
He was probably a bit worried because Mask of Madness would have meant he takes bonus damage, so if he doesn't backtrack to heal Dagon ulti, he
Yeah.
maybe dies because of the Mask of Madness bonus damage.
but a quick, easy grab on your core Necro puts him out for 40 plus seconds.
Jeez.
And that's an Agnums on your farmed Witch Doctor. So an Agnums Witch Doctor, an Agnums Ochre. These Compass Gaming supports even have a lot to show. And there's your
Okay.
Scythe now complete.
That's
Whew, as if things weren't hard enough.
ginormous.
The arsenal continues to grow here on the side of Compass Gaming, and they might go for a last hurrah. You see Pycat making a push effort there on the bottom. Will be able to TP away, but I think Compass Gaming feel like they can be able to put a lid on this game at this point. With one last hurrah down this bottom lane, they can finish what they started, take out the second Rax, and that leaves Team Tinker with very much their backs against the walls. But they might get another kill here, hopping in top lane. And without even a chrono here, he's just going to try to right-click down Pycat, who's going to be forced to go into Shapeshift and use that move speed to get away. But he stops, goes for the Necro Books and a little bit extra farm. Now turns back. Pycat, oh, the bash! Catches him in as Quakefa tries to show
he
up
got
in
the
time, but
BKB off.
BKB's off, and Quakefa's Reaper Scythe goes to nothing.
I mean, that was definitely. I mean, he got Pycat came back in and he got the second hit bash, so
Oh, he's going to go down.
slightly
well.
lucky.
He's
but
going right. He thinks he can make a move here as Clink shows up, takes him out.
That was not
Disaster.
the time. Like, you don't have Reapers to kill him off, so. Yeah, I don't know. Not Tinker's best performance.
I'm going to chalk this one up to what has to be team fatigue, both probably, I imagine, physically and mentally.
They've just
after
played
their
2
Star
BO1s
Ladder
before
run.
this against Fnatic, and
Yep.
the Star Ladder was recent.
And I'm sure they have more games to play today, as it
Dire's
looks
top
like
tower has
they're going to
fallen.
get a hold of, hopefully, this Witch Doctor, though. It takes 3 of them and a couple of ultimates with the Yules to try to get him. This is now allowing Compass Gaming to kind of walk themselves into this top lane and begin to wreak havoc on this tier 3. Glyph is not up yet, needs a few more seconds, but quickly the racks are going to fall right here, and we very well may see Team Tinker throwing the towel. Now EGM's going to get caught out solo by this puck.
I think they already have to run it. Sing Sing
Dire's
using
top
the
barracks
Yules there,
has fallen.
he helped out the Witch Doctor dodge a little arcane bolt, so I think that was
Wow.
Sing Sing just probably joking around with his team. They've pretty much they probably admitted defeat in their
Yeah.
Skype or Mumble or whatever it may
I think
be.
they already know it's
Dire's
over, and they're just going to have
structures are
to.
fortified.
They're going to make Compass Gaming work for it in the meantime and see if they can get anything else. But Clink, Steedy, Pops, that's going to be your Mega Creeps jumping on in. Chrono catches on 2. Afro Ninja going to look to clean up. EGM will end up going down. Now turns his sights onto Sing Sing. In the meantime, though, Clink gets very low, ends up falling. The Necrobug chasing him right down, but there's Dread turning right back with the power that Agnes is able to burst home and take out the Lycanthrope. And, well, there's a big slam at the Reaper site that will
Dire's
remove
middle
Void.
tower is under attack.
We're almost up to 120 seconds, but the GG has been called, and we have wrapped it up. And I can't help but look, I need to see what were the odds for this matchup. I'm sure there are a lot of happy bettors out there in this game. Man, oh man, what a solid showing from Compass Gaming, and unfortunately for Team Tinker, just not their best.
Compass Gaming, I mean, we kind of talked about them as one of the big upcomers, always capable of these upsets against these tier 1 teams, and can never get too complacent when versing them.
Man, the odds, by the way, if you were curious, were 84% in
That's
favor of
huge.
Tinker, and
That's
Compass
very-
Gaming only 16%. That is a
Does not do
huge
Compass
work.
Gaming justice. Like, I would say this was like a 70, because of the best of one nature, I'd say it's like 70-30 maybe, but
Maybe
Compass
might have been a good
Gaming.
value, but considering how much Tinker's already been playing, you know, with the run of Star Ladder, the game's already today,
Star Ladder was yesterday. There's often a lot of drinking after Star Ladder ends.
partying.
Like,
I don't know if they've traveled already. There might have
Yeah.
been a travel time in there at some point, coming back together. I'm sure they're very exhausted. I think that would have been a
mean,
smart bet to take.
for Bulba, it's like all the way back to the US. You gotta be jet lagged if you just
Oh, I
spent
bet.
like the weekend in Ukraine.
And I
so.
think they got more games to play, so best of luck
Yeah.
to them for the rest of their games. I think they're done with us in the Summit, too. But we still have more action. We're going to be moving on to game number 5 of 6, and our next matchup will be actually Team Empire taking on Goblak in his Virtus Pro Polar. Should be a nice matchup. If you like what you heard, catch me on my Twitter at KarlGuy. This handsome guy right here is Gods. Catch him over on his Twitter at BTS Gods, rather. We'll be back in just a moment, and hopefully I will make sure the mics will be muted. Take care.